The English community is working off trailers and a couple of press blurbs. Meanwhile, the Chinese Monster Hunter Outlanders blog is over here dropping details that nobody's translating. Nobody's breaking it down. But today, we're fixing that. Top Dog, thank you very much for your continued attention and anticipation. The Monster Hunter Traveler Psychic Test is now open, and we take this opportunity to bring more game information to the boss. Next, please check out the Esso Island Adventure Guide, a new hunting experience on mobile. The Traveler combines the action of Monster Hunter with the mobile operating system and adds 3 different divisions of combat, as well as powerful moves such as Character Secret, Follower Secret, and fighting skills to create a different hunting experience. So I'm very curious to know what exactly is meant by these things. Is there just maybe some translation differences? These different secrets and fighting skills? I guess we'll have to see as we go on through the rest of the information. The title reads Operation Instructions and Control Explanation. The box here that's listed as number 1, it says Control Move Joystick and Control Character Movement. And we see the number 1 on the screen right there as well, so that must be where you control things with your thumb. Now, I wasn't able to match the symbols up properly, but this was the translation that I got. So it says Character Ultimate and Secret Skill, a powerful often super move, and then it says after the ultimate is fully charged, a special ultimate can be released. Now, I'm not sure exactly, I don't think this is correct, right? I can't really match up the symbols, but that information looks like what's being conveyed in this upper half of the information. It may be some combination of the move set that you see here plus the symbols and writing on that side. Again, if someone's a native Chinese speaker, please help me out. Just trying to muddle our way through this, but looks like we got indications of super moves, and we do see the Palico symbol above those buttons. So maybe this is a buddy having to write some type of a buddy attack. Maybe it's the buddy's super move and not us as the character. Really curious about this. The rest of the description said common enemy / united front. So again, maybe that's still having to do with that buddy, that Palico, maybe because it says it's a mechanic for group attacks or shared power, and then after the united front is fully charged, it can be released. So maybe this is some type of charge attack that you use with the buddy, with the Palico. What are your thoughts on that right there? Somewhere in here we have ultimate derivative. It says it's a follow-up move from your ultimate attack. Maybe the next button there is source or soul mode, spirit mode. So maybe that's how you charge up your spirit gauge. If you're dealing with a long sword, I wonder if that changes to something else. It must change to something else if you're dealing with different weapons. And then we have stance 1, 2, and 3 refers to different combat stances or forms. So once again, depending perhaps on the weapons, these particular buttons would change and help you with your combos, I'm thinking, or maybe they have combos that they've made up for each of the main weapons. Curious to see. The box at the bottom, we have parry or block, we have dodge, and then the information seems to say sheath or drawn weapon state. So your moves would depend, again, obviously on whether your weapon, right, is active or not. Light, heavy, parry or roll. And so then that probably changes one of the other buttons. It says the light, heavy attack button, depending on the situation. Again, these are just guesses on my part, looking at the information that we have so far. Box number 4 here on the upper right, lock on operation. And so above the arrow there's a little gold reticle, I think, with the number 4. So I think it's talking about that, to click to lock onto the target. So I think you hit that on the screen to lock onto the target. Long press allows you to slide or aim, and you can lock onto specific parts of the monster. So we got that nice wheel sitting there to pick different parts of the monster for us to lock onto. Hey man, looks good. At the bottom here, we have use item and use consumables. So again, we got items like healing and things of that nature, and there should be other consumables as we go on in the video. I think we'll see what some of those might be. Recommended item use. The system will recommend items based on the battle situation. Click to use. So in our picture there where the green arrow is, it's recommending a heal potion. So it looks like it's going to try to keep us up to date with that. If we need to heal, if we need antidote, if we need to get some other negative status effect, and we have the cure for it, hopefully that means it's going to pop up right there and we can use it right from the heads up display. Item use. Use stored items. Click to select to switch items. So perhaps from that same icon, it looks like there is a little up symbol. Maybe we can scroll up or move our finger up in some way and it will change to different items. That's all I can think of at this time. Let me know what you think. Then we have stamina value and weapon status. So again, your health bar, I believe, is what's being called stamina here. Weapon status, I want to say sharpness, but as we're going to see later, it looks like sharpness has been changed in this game. It's not the same. I could be mistaken. Once again, this is just me and Gemini having a talk, and this is what we're coming up with. So I'm just going to read what it said right on the website. It says, next, through the sword demonstration of the main character, adventurer, attack type, and quotations, you can understand the operating system more intuitively. Normal attacks release continuous slashes to accumulate air training slots, and moves to release air blade continuous slashes to improve the key training slot stage. What does that mean? Your guess is as good as mine. But what we know is, okay, we have our attacker here with a long sword, and we see the button presses, and it looks like he's trying to power himself up. He got some sharpness there at the end. Maybe his sharpness actually went down. Interesting. Well, if we notice the button presses, it seems like there's that glowing one on the top, and that's what he's trying to get to. It was glowing white, and then it started glowing yellow. So I think that's where we're trying to go, doing proper combos to get good moves you can use. There is a second piece. Let's check it out. By tapping and holding move 2, you can release see-through slash and draw sword airblade slash to counter monster attacks. So I'm not sure which is the move 2 button, but we do see an evade there and a counter attack on the Puki Puke. Looks good to me. After having enough key training slots, you can release the air blade thrust through move number 3, causing burst damage. So maybe what we're seeing here is we're trying to walk our way up the top portion of that move set, right? That line that's above the main attack. There's those 3 moves that are above that. Maybe we're trying to do combos and get those powered up to walk up those abilities, and that's probably where your stronger attacks come from. All adventurers can seize the moment of monster attack to accurately dodge and trigger special derivative moves. After being knocked down, you can trigger the reactive action by using the dodge button to quickly adjust the character's balance. So what we're seeing here is our adventurer take a hit from the Radiant Rathian. He would fall, but he's using that dodge button right at the right time. He's able to get back up, change his direction to get right back in on the attack. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. The website also says, through teamwork, we can jointly launch joint fighting skills. After the first adventurer clicks to release, other adventurers also need to hit the same part of the monster with the fighting skill in time to successfully complete the co-fighting skill. Each adventurer has their own way of hunting, so please look forward to more introductions in the future. The action seems to be really good and fast-paced, and we see that icon right there on the monster's head. So we know that when somebody puts that on, if everybody attacks that spot, good things happen. They're able to fell the monster, it's staggered, and looks like you got enough time, right? I mean, it looks like it's 2 or 3 seconds before they actually make that attack. And that was what I was kind of wondering, is once somebody calls for that to happen, how much time do you have to actually get that hit in? It looks like we got a decent amount of time. If I understand what I'm looking at here, if we look at that symbol on the creature's head, once again, it looks like there's a countdown timer perhaps inside that symbol to let you know how much time you got, or it's counting up to the big knockdown. I'm not sure, but it is good to see your main character here, and we have Evelyn and Midori, right? So that's 3, your main adventure plus 2 other adventurers. So I wonder if these are computer players or these other player characters that people are using. If it is, man, running it with 3 people right now, that's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. Next screen, we got weapon production and crafting, and that's the highlighted icon there in the upper left hand side. And the symbol next to it is weapon enhancement and upgrades. And again, it's kind of pointing over to the right. I don't know if that means it's collapsible, or we will see the evidence on the right hand side of the screen. Ecology slot 1A, ecosystem slot 1A. The suggestion is it's the name of the weapon tree or upgrade path, maybe related to monster ecology or monster parts. Dual blades 1A, and underneath that is listed rarity. Bone axe 1A. And we have Adventurers Guild Scarlet Feather type dual swords 1A. And once again, we got the word rarity. Now, if you also notice, that is Rhea's picture right in that symbol there. So I believe that means that she is equipped with this weapon at this time. So then does that mean that she could be equipped with any of these weapons? Could I change her gear on this screen? So again, on this side, we have Adventurers Guild, Scarlet Feather type, dual swords 1A. So since on the left side, that box is highlighted, here on the right side, I think this means that that's what's been selected. So on the left, we clicked on it. On the right, these are the stats and things like that are representative of the weapon that we have chosen. Here we have attack power as well as sharpness. And again, please stay tuned because sharpness has changed. They changed the way sharpness is going to work in this game. And right here we have an inlay slot, a gem slot. So obviously this is where we can put our decorations. The description here reads, dual swords engraved with the Adventurers Guild emblem, a symbol of honor that only recognized adventurers can possess. So these look different than the dual blades that Rhea has, I think, on the main page and in the trailer. I believe it's different. These are the ones that she's equipped. So I'm assuming that means that you can indeed change the adventurer's weapons, not just the fated adventurer, right? Not just your character, but these other adventurers that you can get. I think it means in some way you can change their weapons as well. Consumable materials, required materials, the cost to craft the weapon. So again, we see we need the rocks, the different monster pieces there, 800 zenny. That's what it's going to cost to craft this weapon. We have produce or craft. So that's the button you push when you say, yeah, man, this is what I want. Default or sort. Not 100% sure what that means. And here we have my collections and favorites. So obviously you put your best stuff here and collections. That's interesting, right? A lot of different monsters to get a hold of, a lot of different types of gear to get a hold of. Good to be able to perhaps see it all in one place. Then we have try on or preview. So usually try on obviously is something we use for our armor, but it's on the weapon screen. So you'll be able to check and see what the appearance of your weapon looks like with your character. Reading back from the blog, it says, the mechanism of attack consumption and whetstone recovery has been removed in the Traveler. In human words, no sharpening of knives. However, melee weapons still have their own fixed sharpness, and the level of sharpness will directly determine whether the weapon will be shot when attacking. When crafting weapons, pay attention not only to the attack power and attributes of the weapon, but also to the sharpness of the weapon. So then the title of our picture is Sharpness. The degree to which a melee weapon can be effective, represented by color. As shown in the diagram, different colors represent different sharpness tiers. The closer to the purple tier, the higher the sharpness, and the less likely the attack performed on a monster will bounce off, i.e. less likely to deflect. So the bar shows the sharpness from low to high. Once again, starting at this end is low, and this end is high. So as we work our way from left to right, we have low to high sharpness. This symbol right here just says click on the blank space to close. Travelers also have decorations. Match equipment and inlay decorations to form different skill sets. You can get decorations through map exploration and various hunting activities. So that screen is the Adventure Equipment Inlaid Jewelry screen. That is what the name of this section is called. Over here is full body skills or total skills, just showing it looks like the entirety of what you have equipped at this time. Continuing from where we were on the weapon screen, we still have our Adventurers Guild Scarlet Feather type dual swords A1. We have our Wiggler Bird Helmet A1. So this looks like Kulaku gear, and it does indeed look like Rhea, who's kind of blurry in the background. To go along with that, we have our Wiggler Bird Male A1. And finally, our Wiggler Bird Bracers. There is a symbol underneath that, but there's not enough there for me to see. It's probably the legs, right? It's probably the greaves, the legs, something of that nature. Then we got full body skill effects, total skill effects, and that's the headline that's lit up here on this panel. So this looks like the totality of the decorations that we have equipped. So what they have listed here for decorations is item use enhancement, and that's level 1 of 3. Mind's Eye, 1 of 1. Escape death or fortitude, Implies a boost after nearly dying, so you probably get KO'd and get a chance to stand back up and take one more hit. And 1 of 3, we have environmental utilization knowledge. So this likely speeds up or enhances gathering or some type of other interactions with the environment. And then at the bottom, we got configure skills and setup skills. So I think that just means you're ready to lock everything in. And look at this, guys. This is something that we've been waiting to see. Now it is indeed confirmed. You can change the appearance of the adventurers, right? So it says, in addition to the initial appearance, adventurers can also directly display their current assembled equipment. And I believe that this is indeed Raya. So she looks very different. She has a different set of gear on. We can see her face there on the left-hand side with the gear that's set up, and it's different, right? The outfit she has with her face that we're used to on the main display page is different than what we see standing in front of us. So we can indeed customize the appearance of our adventurers. Looks like the screen or tab we are on is the armor production and or crafting, and the tab next to that is armor enhancement and or upgrades. Here we have ecology slot 1A or ecosystem slot 1A, and it looks like our armor sets as a whole will be contained on this side of the board. So for example, here we have the Wiggler bird set, and obviously as you see it's highlighted, it's the armor set that we have currently selected, and the icon straight across from that once again is the rarity. The 2 sets underneath are the leather set and the bone set. Moving over to the right hand side, we once again have the regular bird set 1A, since that's the one we have highlighted. The details about that armor set are on this side of the board. Details include things like our defensive power, as well as our elemental and attribute resistance. So next we have the skills and the decorations here, and these are the same skills that we saw on the previous screen, so perhaps they're granted by this particular armor set, right? So we had our item use enhancement, level 1 of 3, our mind's eye, level 1 of 1, escape, death, and fortitude, level 1 of 1, environmental utilization knowledge, level 1 of 3. Here we have consumable materials or required materials. So this is what is needed to craft this particular set of gear, I believe. So it's going to cost 4,000 zenny. I'm not sure what that first symbol there is. Obviously it's some type of monster. Then we have some bone skulls there. We got some scales. We got some hides, and it looks like it scrolls on a little bit more. So maybe there's other items we need in addition. So if we had everything we need, we were able to pay for it. This right here says produce or craft, so you could build that armor set. Moving across the bottom row here, from left to right, we have default or sort, my collection or my favorites. And so then right here, it said unknown, and it looked like it was trying to spell something phonetically. So it looked close to Raya. So I think that's what it is right here. It's the character's name, Raya. It seemed to indicate that the player would just kind of know that this was some type of internal nomenclature about the game, and the player would just kind of understood what it meant. So I'm going with this is the character's name, Raya. And that would make sense, right? So perhaps during the gacha, right, you're going to have different other adventurers that you can have. And right, it behoove you on the spending side to have them geared up for different situations. Those of us who are playing for free, we can probably only have 1 or 2, and so we'll be gearing ours up just for most effective available. So I'll just read right from the website here while the GIF plays. It says, utilize a variety of facility effects. Use your building skills to help you explore with a variety of facilities. By cutting down trees and mining, you can obtain various materials for building facilities. So my apologies, I neglected to catch that icon there to try to get it translated, but it looks like we see some wood, maybe, right? The tree trunk, as he chops, he's gaining woods. We also see the tree is glowing, so perhaps this is part of some mission. More than likely it would be in the beginning, right? Probably like a training mission, just showing you that you're able to do this. But we're gonna have to wait and see what application it has in the main game. The next slide reads as follows. In a non-combat state, you can click the build button to consume materials to build a variety of equipment. So as we see the screen cycle, there's a little hammer icon. I believe that must be the build button. Some of the things you can make are a blower table, a mobile facility that helps adventurers take off vertically, allowing them to quickly reach high altitudes. Catapult. A catapult catapults adventurers in a specific direction, helping them move quickly across terrain. Zipline. A mobile facility that helps adventurers move up and down quickly, helping them move between terrain with elevation differences. Please look forward to more details on the construction facilities in the future. So the ones that they have listed there obviously are to help us move either vertically straight up and down for elevation. Catapult, that's probably straight line speed. And then zipline if we need to go straight line, but at the same time change elevation. Now we do have the translation for some of these building facilities here. Some of them are a little surprising. Let's take a peek. So the first one, we're going to start on the left column, then the right column. The first one is windbreak platform shelter. So that's probably the blower table that we just talked about. It's the currently selected item in our freeze frame here. Second one is the catapult or ballista. So we know what that is as well. It's going to launch your character forward. Number 3 is the barbecue spit or roasting rack. Hey man, we got to cook that meat. Got to cook that meat in Monster Hunter. Here, number 4, interesting, automatic gathering facility for lumber or wood. So we're going to see a couple of these. Is this part of the, the mobile thing that you can gather stuff while you're offline, or maybe just while you're hunting around online? I'd like to know what you think. Underneath that is the automatic gathering for vegetation and plants. We flip over to the other side. We have, it looks like general build or construction. That looks to me like the zip line, if we're being honest. Next up, storage box or item chest. So why would we want to store things out in the field? Can we come back and get them? Is it just to clear some inventory? Do we need to use this to access some of our gear that maybe we were not able to bring with us? Your guess is as good as mine. Let me know what you think in the comments. Adventurers camp. Hey, so we can put the camp down. So maybe it's for fast travel or for resupply to get your health back, something of that nature. And once again, we have a automatic gathering facility, this time for ore and or minerals. So again, what is your thought? Like, how is this all going to come together? Are these automatic items going to be for online use or offline use? The things about the storage box, the camp, right? Once again, is this so we can access our items, our health and stuff while we're still in the game? Is this how we're going to resupply? What do you think? I would like to hear your thoughts, man, really, in the comments below. In the blog, it said you can also craft various items using the collected materials. Take advantage of them to be flexible and take risks. So as always, we know that crafting is a very important part of Monster Hunter. Let's take a look at some of the items that are here. Starting up here at the top, we have craft or mix, right? So that's the name of the main menu. That's the screen that we're on. And then if we go over here to the main item categories, it looks like we have medicine and potions, which is the items that are the section we currently have selected. And then we have items or tools. So we can craft our medicine, our potions. We can craft some tools as well. Let's make our way down the left-hand side here, this list. We have the symbol here for new. So that label there, hopefully, I think it's to indicate that this is a new recipe for me, right? This is the first time I have the ability to create this recipe. I didn't have it before. So it's helping me to appreciate that this is new. Then we have recovery potion or potion. That's a currently selected item. We're all familiar with healing potions. Then we have recovery potion large or mega potion. Antidote, got to have that for that poison. Cool drink, probably used for resistance in our hot environments. Then the rest of these are locked, meaning I'm not sure why, if we just don't have the level for them yet, or we have to find the recipe. So we have our hot drink used for resistance in cold environments. Dust potion, so maybe for curing status effects like blast blight or the sandstorm. Does it maybe give you resistance to sandstorm when you're dealing with Diablos or something like that? Again, it's been a minute since I played Monster Hunter, so let me know in the comments what the dust potion is for. We have our vigor drink or our energy drink. I think that boosts our stamina or boosts our strength, perhaps our damage, something like that. And then we go down here to the bottom left button. We have default or sort. Let's flip on over to the right side of the screen. As we see here, the selected item is the recovery potion. We have the item name here. Once again, recovery potion or potion. And then we have, looks like it's describing it for us as a description, a medicine that can recover a small amount of stamina or health. Here we have consumable materials, required materials. This is the header for this particular section. And then we see this point right here. It's showing that we have, so it's saying we have 6 and 2. So we got 6 of these leaves. We need 2 leaves to create 1 potion. So yeah, that's what the icon there is showing. And then obviously there's a slider underneath that, a minimum of 1 plus up to maximum of 3 from the materials that I have, right? That negative to plus. So the math works out, right? I have enough to make 3 potions with the 6 leaves that I have. We got the big craft button right here. That's our main action button at the bottom. And then we also have auto craft, right? We have auto craft. So we could check that for automatic crafting, and that symbol matches up with the other symbol we have there on the left-hand side. So I'm assuming this means if we have this box checked, that, hey, every single time that I get enough resources for this one item right here, especially for this item right here, you're telling the computer, I want you to craft it. I want you to craft it. I want you to craft it. I think that's what's being said here. Let me know if you think my information is spot on or not. Let's head back to the blog. It says, leave, head to ESO. Unlock the secrets of ESO through hunting and exploration. In a world map, there will be a variety of monsters all over the place, and you can hunt freely at any time. As the investigation deepens, the world's ecological niche will increase, and the monsters will become even stronger. So, huge point right here. Before we get to the translation, huge point right here. If I'm understanding correctly, it's saying you can hunt freely at any time. Okay? The world's ecological niche will increase, monsters will get stronger. So I think what is being said here is, unlike some of the other games that we saw that kind of left a bad taste in the mouth, there won't be like a stamina system in that sense. I'm hoping that's what it's saying. There won't be a stamina system in the sense that you can only play for a limited amount of time for free, and then you got to start putting down cash money. I think it's saying that you can just play, right? And obviously people who are spenders are going to get better armor. They're going to get better weapons. And as you are better with your character, right, you'll be able to fight stronger monsters. And so then your skill and your gear check will be what stops you from progressing, where you got to slow down, farm, and make sure you got your weapons and your armor. I think that's what's being said here. If you feel otherwise, again, let me know if my understanding is incorrect. All right, let's break into this map screen. So obviously on the top bar right there is the title, right? We're on the map. We're on the map. This is a map right here. We have outdoor facilities and field installation. So this must be some type of a button or a filter for showing, hiding placement items. So maybe some of the stuff that we've built, right? You can show or hide it on the map if you're trying to find the stuff that you built before, but you don't want the map to get too cluttered. On our left panel over here, we have a Borderlands Edge or Wilderness. Borderlands Edge Wilderness. Okay. That's what it says. Likely the name of the main region that we're looking at on the map. Maybe the part that's lit up right there. There's a percentage, 20%. So perhaps that's the amount that we've already explored, right? The amount of exploration we've had, or the completion of progress for the region. So maybe we have to finish a certain amount of missions and things like that to complete a certain area. So then we got these progress bars on the bottom there. So we got our 1 of 1. That's probably the main base. So we have to build our camp or something like that. And then there's a lot of other things. O of 22, O of 18. So we got items. We have monsters. We have treasure chests. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but obviously these are things that are here in this area, probably that are going to get written down in our book. So if we found all that stuff, right, maybe there's some, just, you know, some completion acknowledgement for that. Map region names, all right, we're looking at the map. It's showing us here that the map itself is divided into 3 areas that are all named. So we have our Knife Village or Blade Manor is the translation here. Next, we have the River Wilderness or the Field. The monsters here are kind of covering this up, so the computer couldn't really see the words. It looks like what it can see equals gorge or canyon there on the right-hand side. And if we move around here to the bottom right button, so this button all the way on the far right, teleport or fast travel. Then we'll just go from left to right. At the bottom here, we have build or construction. So that's the same symbol that was in the previous menu. So this is probably where we would use things. Well, yeah, that we're going to build something here. Explore or investigation. So we can, perhaps these are our missions. So we'll start our exploration missions perhaps with this item or this icon. Gather or collect. So resource gathering missions, treasure, finding those hidden items. Then we have this level indicator, level or tier. So I'm not 100% sure if we're talking about like my level, right? It's my level 3, or are we saying here that it's 4? It's a level 3 area. And in this case, I'm higher than that. I'm stronger than level 3. So it's looking good. It's green because I'm stronger than what's recommended in the area. Again, I'm just making this stuff up. I'm trying to figure it out. I'd like to hear what you think we're looking at as well. Are we on the right track? Let's go back to the blog and read the information listed here. It says, at the same time, travelers also have a wide variety of hunting activities. For example, the fighting competition. There are also more hunting gameplay with traveler characteristics. Some of these activities require the cooperation of the members of the adventure group. Some require everyone to face more powerful monsters. The specific event gameplay is still being polished, so please look forward to the detailed instruction in the future. Now, what is this helping us to appreciate? Obviously, there's a lot here about multiplayer activities. So perhaps the fighting competition is like the arena. Perhaps that's what we're seeing in the picture, where it's kind of like a time attack, you versus the monster, kind of the arcade feature. And you're just trying to get the best time in a competitive setting. But I'm really interested in these other things, right? Being required to face more powerful monsters or requiring the cooperation of the group. Are there going to be little side missions, things that we have to do together to make something happen? Do they have, I don't know, maybe some type of world boss type setting where you have a strong monster, he's just elevated for the week above our power level? You need a good group of people to take him down. That would encourage guild play, right? Alliance-based play. We'll have to see how it goes, man. I'm very curious. What are your thoughts when it comes to this category? There are also many wild explorations to explore and play on the world map. In addition to hunting, you can also experience different types of gameplay. Stack stone meditation. Adjust the position and orientation of the stones and stack them to reach the target height. Egg moving challenge. Lurk in the grass, dodge monsters, and move the eggs back to the target. Treasure chaser. Accurately click the button when the circles overlap to consume the endurance of the pterodactyl. Please look forward to more details in the future. Looks like we got a picture of our egg mission right here, and what do we got in the background? We got a little Jagras. He's wondering what's going on. Who's taking them eggs? Is this a Jagras egg that we have? So looks like the button's there. We can put the egg down. Maybe we can sneak. We can dodge. Be interesting, right? We're kind of familiar with this. We've seen things like this before. Looks fun. I wonder if this is one of the things that we'll also be able to do in a group setting. This appears to be the treasure chaser event. With our pterodactyl there, we got to wear them down. Let's break down what it is that we're seeing. So at the top here, right in the middle, there's this yellow bar. This is the treasure winged dragon stamina. So it probably shows us, right, how much of that stamina or resistance the creature has left. This is going to measure if we're able to wear him down and win the matchup. We have a bunch of information over here on the left-hand side. It looks to be the instructions. It says, get close to the treasure winged dragon, and after depleting its stamina, you can obtain the treasure it is carrying. So it looks like that's how we're going to win, right? These are the instructions on how to play the mode. We have 2 buttons next to that, retry challenge and abandon challenge. So, hey, we want to retry, we want to start over, or man, we're done with this. We're just going to abandon. We got that, right? We got that choice. We got that option. There's a timer here. 32 seconds are left on the clock. We don't know what we started with, right? We don't know if we have a minute. We don't know if we have 40 seconds, but this is going to determine part of whether we win or lose, right? It's going to be counting down. And while it's counting down, we have that button right there in the middle. And it said, again, we want to time our button presses. So we want to make sure we're hitting that button when the circles overlap. And that's what's going to slowly bring down the endurance of the pterodactyl. That's how we're going to win the game. We're all familiar with mini games like that. This should be fun. Here's a picture of that stack stone meditation. Again, we're supposed to adjust the position and orientation of the stones and stack them to reach the target height. On the left side, we have our instructions. It says to adjust the position of the specific stones to ascend the stone tower. The left-hand buttons over there, once again, are retry challenge and abandon challenge. So we look at what we're seeing right here in the middle. We got this vertical bar and there's numbers. That must be the height and the measurement of the stack so far, right? The number 2 is the target required height. This is what we're trying to build. And so far we've built 1.1804. Whatever the measurement is right here, that's how far as we got. So we'll see how this gameplay actually works. It's a nice little survival crafting puzzle, something like that. The blog concludes with the following information. The island is home to a variety of magical environmental creatures. You can launch insect traps to catch them and complete various investigation tasks. So just as we talked about before, right on the map we saw earlier, those investigation missions. So this must be one way you do that with the capture event. I don't know what this is. This is the event that's going on right here. Or maybe you just wander upon these guys while you're moving through the game. Go ahead and capture them and check those points off. The telekinesis test is the first external test of Monster Hunter Traveler. In just half a day of opening the server, we have received a lot of feedback and suggestions from the bosses, and we have felt everyone's enthusiastic attention. Traveler is still in the development stage, and we are well aware that there are still many shortcomings in terms of game quality and gameplay content. We will definitely carefully study the instructions of the bosses and continue to optimize and polish. The adventure on SO Island has just begun, so please continue to follow us and wait for us to bring you a more interesting gaming experience from the Monster Hunter Traveler project team. So again, this is a translation, right? This is on the Chinese blog site, so this is a translation, so some of the words might come across as a little different, but hey man, we did it. Here you go. This is what's going on. Tell me what you are most excited for in the game. What are you looking forward to? Is there a particular monster that you hope to see in the opening levels of the game? Let's get it started in the comments below. Peace.